Today we're focusing purely on perimeter. How do you find the perimeter of any figure? You add all the sides. So in order to find the perimeter, we need to know the length of those sides. How do we find the length of a segment? Distance formula. Okay, now some of these are going to get easier. We won't have to do distance for all of them. Some of them we're going to have to do distance multiple times. Now since we're finding perimeter, I'm going to have you round to the nearest tenth. How many decimal places is the nearest tenth past the decimal? 1. It's the first decimal place past the decimal. So if I give you, for instance, 12.17, what would I round that to? 12.2. Okay, so we're going to round to the nearest tenth. If you looked at the directions in your warm-up, the direction says write your answer in simplest radical form. That's where we actually simplify the radical and we don't have any decimals. Okay, we do the factor tree. So you need to make sure you read directions so you know what you're being asked to do. What segment do we want to find the distance of? AB? Okay, so if I want to find AB, what are my coordinates of A? Negative 610. And what are my coordinates of B? 5, 3. Everyone okay with that? And we should be really good at the distance formula by now. So that equals the square root of. So I'm going to label here x1, y1, x2, y2. 5 plus 6, because it's minus a negative, plus 3 minus 10 squared. Five plus 6 gives me 11 squared, plus 3 minus 10 gives you a negative 7 squared, or 121 plus 49. Now you're using your calculator, so you can really put it in your calculator at any point. You should know how to use your calculator at this point, so remember the square root button is the second, and then the x squared has the little square root right above it. So the square root of 121 plus 49 gives me 13.03. What is that rounded to the nearest tenth? 13. So the length of AB is 13. I would like you to find the length of AC and CB. So just what we did. So find the length of AC and find the length of BC. Before I even start finding the distance, what can you tell me about the length of BC in comparison to the other two? It should be a lot smaller, right? If it's not, then you did something wrong and you need to go back and fix it. Okay, look at the actual lengths. If you have something greater than 13 for BC, you messed up. What is my coordinate for C? 3, negative 1. Okay, so if I'm finding AC, I have the square root of 3 plus 6 squared plus negative 1, whoops, hold on, negative 1 minus 10 squared. 3 plus 6 gives me 9 squared. Negative 1 minus 10 gives me a negative 11 squared. Or 81 plus 121. So the square root of 81 plus 121 equals what? What did you get? So in your calculators, the square root of 81 plus 121 gives you 14.21. What does that round to? 14.2. Does it make sense that AC is a little longer than AB? Yeah, slightly, right? We're almost done. So this one here is 14.2. And then BC, if I solve for BC, I have 5 minus 3 squared plus 3 plus 1 squared. 5 minus 3 gives me 2 squared plus 4 squared, or 4 plus 16. Did you get that? And the square root of 4 plus 16, what does that round to? So I'm showing 4.47.
Yeah.
So 4.5 rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, so this one here is 4.5. So you found the distance of all three side lengths, but the final question, or the original question, was what is the perimeter? So we need to add them all up. 13 plus 14.2 plus 4.5 gives me, what'd you get? You should have gotten 31.7. Okay, so this is the final question. Now, when it comes to your test on a problem like this, you're going to get points not only for the final answer, but you'll get points for each of these distances. So say you screwed up AB, but you got AC and BC right, you're still going to get most of your points. Okay, showing your work's going to be important, and making sure you set that up. Now, number 2 is a whole lot nicer. Why is 2 nicer? You have some straight lines. You have horizontal and vertical lines. So you can use the distance formula if you want on AB and BC, or you can count boxes. I'd rather count boxes, right? So what I want everyone to count the boxes for AB and tell me what you get. Okay, so what'd you get for AB when you counted? 12. Did everybody get 12? If you use the coordinates for A and B and you use the distance formula, you're still going to get 12. But why do all the work if you can count? What about BC? Can we count that one? Did everyone else get 11 for BC? Okay, so BC and AB we don't have to do. We do have to do CD and AD. So, because you are pretty much in a group of 4, I will let you split it. So 2 people do CD, 2 people do AD. Or you can do all of them. All right, CD. What is your coordinate for C? 2, -3. And D? -1, -8. So when you plug it in, you should have 2 plus 1 squared plus -3 plus 8 squared. 2 plus 1 is 3 squared. -3 plus 8 gives you 5 squared. So you should have 9 plus 25 underneath the radical. And the square root of 9 plus, whoops, the square root of 9 plus 25. What did you round that to? Huh? 5.8 is what you should have gotten.
Oh yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. So this one's 5.8. Now I'm going to do the last one. What's my coordinate for A? Negative 10, 8. So I get the square root of negative 10 plus 1 squared, and then 8 plus 8 squared. This probably is going to be my longest distance, just based off looking on the picture, right? Okay. So you have negative 9 squared plus 16 squared, which gives you 81 plus 256. So the square root of 81 plus 256 rounds to what? 18.4. So final answer is the perimeter. So the perimeter is 12 plus 11 plus 5.8 plus 18.4. 40. Can someone else confirm 47.2?
Yes.
You should be really good at the distance formula. I would like you and your group to split the last one however you want. So if you have 4 people per group, each of you can find side lengths. We're convening in a minute and a half. I need someone who solved for AB to raise their hand. What did you get? 5. Did everyone else who solved for AB also get 5?
Yes.
Okay. Someone who solved for BC. 7.3. Can we confirm that?
No.
No, I got 6.4.
6.4.
I got 6.4.
For BC? 6.4.
Okay, never mind, Kylie. I think you got it right.
Okay. If you're not giving me an answer, you're not talking right now. CD. Who solved for CD? 16. Can we confirm that? Yeah? And AD. Who solved for AD?
6.7.
6.7. We can confirm that?
6.7.
I have a few people confirming 6.7.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay, final answer. Five plus 6.4 plus 16 plus 6.7 equals 34.1.